This video is about the impact that COVID-19 is having on village revenues and how we are making financial plans for the future. With me today are Trustee Savaria, Chairperson of our Finance Committee, and Jenni Booth, Director of Finance for the Village. So, Trustee Savaria and Director Booth, what can you tell us about how COVID-19 has impacted Frankfort's financial situation, and what can you tell us that we're going to do about it?
Thanks, Mayor Holland. Director Booth, let's start with some of the basics of our finances. Where does the money come from, and where does it go?
Thanks for asking me to join you on this program. First, I want to let our residents know that the budget numbers about which I speak today are on our website at www.vofil.com, and residents are welcome to call me with questions about our finances. Our finances are divided between governmental funds, enterprise funds, and a fiduciary fund. The governmental funds relate to government operations such as the police, public works, and planning operations. The enterprise funds relate to the sewer and water operations. The fiduciary fund is the police pension fund that is kept separate according to state law. Today, we will focus on just the governmental funds because they are the most impacted by COVID-19. Our year begins on May 1st. We created our budget in February and March before we knew there would be an impact from COVID-19. Within the governmental funds, most of our income is in the general fund, and therefore, we will talk mostly about the general fund. The general fund budget for this year calls for revenues of $19,343,600 and expenses of $16,085,000 for a surplus of $3,258,600.
Where does the surplus go?
Typically, the board transfers surpluses at the end of the year to the Capital Development Fund. Other than grants, these transfers are the primary source of money used for road maintenance and other capital projects.
So, how do we spend most of our general fund revenues?
Police protection accounts for 49% of our general fund expenditures. 23% provides public works services, which includes snow plowing, road patching, brush pickup, and basic community maintenance. 10% is for garbage collection, and 18% is for other government services, including planning, code enforcement, and construction inspection services.
So where does the money come from?
43%, or $8.3 million, of general fund revenues comes from sales tax. 20%, or $3.9 million, comes from property taxes. 10% comes from charges for services, 9% comes from income tax sharing from the state, and the rest is from permits, licenses, and other sources. By far, our primary income source is sales tax.
Then we better get to the point. What's going on with our sales tax revenues?
We recently received our July payment for April sales, which was the first full month of state-mandated COVID-19 business closures. We received $538,869, which was 26% below our budget prediction.
That sounds serious.
It is, but remember, most of our retail businesses and restaurants were closed in April and May. We expect 2 months of poor sales tax revenue levels. By June, the restaurants were operating outside, and by July, generally all retail businesses were open again. We have made predictions for each month of the coming year, and our best analysis shows that we will end the year 13% short on sales tax revenues, which is just over $1 million.
That still sounds serious. What about other revenues?
We believe that other revenue sources will also be impacted, but nowhere near the same percentage as sales tax. At this time, we predict that our general fund revenues will be about $1,324,000 short of budgeted revenues at the end of the year. That's about a 7% shortfall.
Our board gives direction to budget conservatively. Each department budgets more than they will likely spend, and we normally take in more revenue than we budget. It appears that this year, with that conservative budgeting, will help.
It certainly will. It is likely that we can control expenses adequately to make up most, if not all, of the predicted revenue shortfall. Also, keep in mind that we budgeted a $3,258,600 surplus in the general fund. While general fund surpluses are necessary because they become a primary source of capital funds, it happens that at this time, our capital fund balance is healthy. As long as our businesses can remain open and residents keep buying in Frankfort, we can manage our way through this financial setback.
Jenny, thanks for keeping us informed. We're very pleased that because of conservative budgeting, it appears at this time that we can handle the reduced income with only minor impacts. We expect you to keep us informed if revenue predictions deteriorate so that the board can make appropriate choices in the future.
You can count on being kept informed. I would like to take a moment to comment to the public that it is a pleasure to work with a board that encourages transparency in government finance and to work with a board that understands that healthy fund balances are important to the stability of a community. And if revenues decline, expenses need to be adjusted accordingly.
Thank you, Director Booth and Trustee Savaria. In conclusion, we are currently predicting about a 7% reduction in budgeted revenues in our governmental funds, where the accounting for day-to-day village services takes place. We expect to make up the shortfall primarily from spending less than our budget and potentially transferring less to the capital fund at the end of the year. At present, we do not expect our residents to see any noticeable reduction in services. With the help of our finance director and our finance committee, we will be prepared to take appropriate action if revenues deteriorate further. Our residents can significantly help the government and our local businesses by shopping in Frankfort. Keep up the social distancing, shop local, stay healthy, and thanks for listening.